In the beginning, there was only God. Then God created the heavens and the earth. Light came into existence. The seas were formed. Trees and flowers appeared. Birds began to fly across the sky. Animals walked upon the earth. And then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image." So God formed a man from the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living being. His name was Adam. God placed Adam in a beautiful garden. It was the Garden of Eden. It was more beautiful than any place in the world. Crystal clear rivers flowed through it. Greenery covered every corner. The fragrance of flowers filled the air. Trees were loaded with every kind of fruit. There was no hostility among the animals. There was no pain, no tears, no death. Everything was perfect. And God walked with Adam every day. But God gave Adam one command. "You may eat freely from every tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For on the day you eat from it, you will surely die." Adam listened to God's command. But God saw that Adam was alone, so he made a woman from one of Adam's ribs. Her name was Eve. Now the two of them lived happily in the Garden of Eden. There was no fear in their hearts, there was no shame between them, and the presence of God was with them. But there was another creature in the garden, the serpent. It was more cunning than any of the other animals. One day, while Eve was alone, the serpent came near her and quietly said, "Did God really say that you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees of the garden. But there is one tree, the tree in the middle of the garden. God said that we must not eat its fruit or touch it, or we will die." The serpent smiled and said, "You will certainly not die. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve became silent. She looked at the tree. The fruit was beautiful. It was pleasing to the eye, and it seemed desirable for gaining wisdom. The serpent's words echoed in her mind. Then she reached out her hand. She picked the fruit, and she ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate it as well. And at that very moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, and they realized that they were naked. For the first time, they felt shame. For the first time, fear entered their hearts. They sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Then, in the evening, they heard the voice of God walking in the garden. But this time, Adam and Eve did not run toward him. Instead, they hid among the trees. Then God called out, "Adam, where are you?" Adam answered, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, so I hid myself." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam replied, "The woman you gave to be with me gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then God asked Eve, "What is this that you have done?" Eve answered, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Then God pronounced judgment upon the serpent, and he declared that it would crawl on its belly, and there would be hostility between the serpent and the woman's offspring. Then God told Adam and Eve that sin had entered the world. Now the ground would produce thorns and thistles. There would be hard labor. There would be suffering. And one day, death would come. Then God made garments of animal skins for Adam and Eve. It was the first time blood had been shed, and it was a glimpse of the salvation that was to come. Then came a heartbreaking moment. God sent Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. The place that had once been their home was now closed to them, and God placed cherubim at the entrance to the garden, and a flaming sword that flashed back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. Adam and Eve walked away from the garden. Behind them was Eden. Ahead of them was a difficult world, but God had not abandoned them completely, because on that very day, He gave a promise that one day, from the offspring of the woman, a Savior would come. He would crush the serpent's head, and the power of evil would be defeated forever. And with that hope, the story of humanity began.